Hi, this is Greg with Best Choice Trailers. Today I'm going to take a walk around a short track, heavy duty, low profile Beavertail Deckover. Shown here is a tag or a bumper pull model. It's a 102x20+5, so it's 8.5 foot wide, 20 foot of flat, 5 foot Beavertail with 5 foot flip over spring assist ramps. GVW is 15,000. It's got two 7,000 pound axles. Everything you see on this particular unit is a stock standard item. There's no additional options on this. Everything you see here is a standard feature. Let's take a walk around this particular unit. We'll show you everything that this model has. So there is a little brother to this trailer now. Starting in 2019, Short Track has gone with a standard duty Beavertail Deckover. Partly because this model over the years has accumulated more and more features to where it's a pretty stout, pretty heavy duty model. Not for everybody. This would be for that high duty cycle user that's going to be fairly heavy duty. So starting out up front, we've got the adjustable 6-hole coupler shown here with a pintle, also available with a 2 5/16 ball. It's got a 12-inch I-beam frame. So again, this is one of the reasons why it's heavy duty. It's certainly one of the heavier beams in the marketplace. It's got the 12K jack. So another reason why this would be considered heavy duty, it's got a pierced frame. That's something you don't often see on a 14 or 15,000 pound trailer. Normally it's not even available at most manufacturers till you go to a dual wheel setup. So a pierced frame simply means the cross members pierce through the main frame, and the wood 2x6 treated wood floor would sit on top of that cross member flush with the beam. That gets you to about a 36-inch deck height on this particular unit, as opposed to 36, which is standard in the industry. So underneath you'll see the cross member shoots through the beam, and then the wood sits flush with the top of the I-beam flange. Now underneath, another reason we call this the heavy duty, not only does it have 16 on center cross members, but also the X bracing that you see underneath, which is called Crosstrack Bracing, helps keep both the cross members and the main frame straight and aligned. So that's something you rarely see. Some manufacturers will do a torque tube, which is not quite as strong as what a Crosstrack bracing is, but again, generally, even a torque tube you wouldn't see until you would go to a dual tandem. So on this, we've got the 12-inch beam, the pierced frame, the Crosstrack bracing, and then heavy duty also has a lot of tie downs. So we've got stake pockets, rub rail, chain or pipe spools, and then also they've gone to standard D-rings. Now it used to be there was 8, now there's 10. They've now added 2 additional up front, and now they've also gone to a 5/8 inch ring instead of a standard 1/2 inch. So we've got stake pockets, 6 on the deck, front, center, back, and then 2 at the back of the Beavertail. And now for 2019, the 2 new ones would be up front and center. Generally speaking, would be used for your hydraulic implement. So again, we're 20 foot on the flat deck, and then we've got the 5 foot Beavertail with 5 foot flip over ramps. So a couple nice things about Short Track's rear of their trailer. One would be the tubular bumper. Many in the industry are going to use a piece of formed or a piece of channel. Tube's going to protect your lights, all your wiring, but then also, very importantly, your Beavertail and ramps are only going to be as strong as what they're pushing off of or what they're being supported by. So the notch on this ramp is going to come and cup underneath the rear bumper when the ramp's deployed. What that's going to do, it's going to give you about an inch of separation between the bumper and the cutout on the ramp, so that as you compress the suspension, your Beavertail is going to rest on that notch right there instead of jerking your truck around. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. The Short Track ramps are, of course, also spring assisted. They also slide about a foot, give or take, in either direction. The lights, they've got the standard 3 markers, the stop, turn, tails, and then there's an extra set of markers all the way on the end. They also use a little heavier tread on the Beavertail. Those are 3x3s. Many in the industry are going to use a 2x2. One of my features that I like on this particular unit would be the weep holes that they put on the end of the ramps. So when you flip the ramp over, the water will run out the treads instead of, well, prior to you flipping it over, they'll run out the treads after you have rain and whatnot. That way you don't get a bath whenever you use the ramps. So let me go ahead and flip this ramp over here. Spring assist does make it nice, even with one hand I could fairly easily flip a very heavy-duty ramp over. It's got a nice tapered knife edge at the end of the ramp. Again, we said it's spring assisted. You ever need to take it off, very simple to do so. And also, as mentioned, the cutout there, you see there's about an inch gap between the bumper and the ramp. Makes it nice, it doesn't jerk you around when you're loading. So standard equipment on these would be 7,000 pound axles. Trac uses a Dexter axle. These have the newer style never adjust brakes. Basically, it's a self-forwarding brake setup that would be standard on these axles. Also been on cars for many years. Basically, it feeds your brakes throughout the life of the pad so that they don't have to be serviced as often. Also, behind that black cap is a greaser called Easy Lube hubs. A average homeowner with hand tools, basic hand tools, can service their own bearings. And also there you see a slipper spring suspension with a greaser on it. So a lot of serviceability on the suspension components of this particular unit. Also, when you go to your Pierce frame low profile, you'll see there the tread plate over the wheel wells. That helps you get down lower to the ground. There's a couple other things that make this a little heavier duty than some in the industry, and why this would be a heavy duty. This side rail right here, some manufacturers will use a piece of formed or a piece of angle iron, or even I've seen sometimes a piece of flat stock. This here is going to be a piece of channel. I believe that's going to be 5-inch channel on the side rail, where again in the industry we're starting to see a lot of formed, and over time form's not going to be not only near as strong as channel, but over years of service, formed is going to be much thinner, so it'll rust through a lot quicker. We see that quite often on some of the trade-ins of different manufacturers. So again, those are some of the features we like about this particular unit. There's certainly many options you can throw on this, but as you see it, it's got most of what the average person's going to need to go put it to commercial use right away. We also stock this in a gooseneck model, as well as 8,000 pound axle upgrade and dual tandem 10,000 pound axle upgrade. A unit like this is going to weigh in about 4,500 pounds empty. It's going to give a net legal payload of about 9,500 on the trailer, plus about 2,000 pound of tongue weight. Max legal load on this, assuming that you are within DOT spec on both axles and the truck side, going to get about 11.5. Safe rule of thumb would be upper 10s. If you have any questions about this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.